What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. Hope all you're having a great day so far. Um, Getting into this episode, I think I missed a little part of it because where I am, we got interrupted because of our new governor. So he had to make his new speech. So I got a little interrupted for a while. So anyway, getting into this, Olivia was annoying me a little bit today. Just a smidge. She was getting on my nerves a little bit. Like, we understand, you want your man to be the mayor. Well, to remain as mayor, I get it. But don't try to knock Laura, act like, try to talk about the public like they're ungrateful, talking about, oh, they're unappreciative of the things that you've done. He's only been mayor for a short amount of time, so he ain't done much. I'm just saying. And it's not a knock on Ned. Honestly, because I feel like Ned or Laura would be a good mayor. You know what I mean? Probably Laura a little more than Ned, but because I'm just not fond of business people being politicians. That's like actors being politicians. I'm not fond of it because they try to run it as such. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get a little skeptical because you see the idiot that we have in charge of the country. That's why I'm a little skeptical about a businessman being a politician because they try to run it like a business, and you sometimes can't do that. It doesn't work all the time like that. You know what I mean? But I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be mad at whoever wins. If Ned becomes, remains as mayor or Laura takes over as mayor, I don't have a dog in this race. I really don't. I don't. I'm not picking sides on this one. Um, but anyway, with Carly, what she said today was actually somewhat true. About not trusting Kevin slash Ryan with the whole Ferncliff thing. I have to agree with her. I think the thing with Laura is she obviously knows there's definitely something off with Kevin, but she likes to see the good in people. And this is where Cujo comes in. See, you need a pit bull like Carly in this scenario. You know what I mean? Because she could weed through the BS. And that's exactly what Carly's doing. You know what I'm saying? She's not letting her guard down where Kevin Ryan is concerned. Because she knows something shady going on. She know it. She could feel it. It's something shifty going on, and she definitely don't trust Kevin at this point. Nor should she. Um, what irritated me about Carly today a little bit was the mere fact that she told Laura when she becomes mayor, the first thing she should do is fire Margot Dawson as district attorney. First of all, Carly, let me put this out there. Laura, if she became the mayor, would have no jurisdiction to fire the district attorney. Because at the end of the day, the DA is an elected official. The mayor is an elected official. You can't fire another elected official. Well, I mean, you can. It depends on the hierarchy. It depends. The mayor has no control over the district attorney's office. They can't fire a DA. It's up to either the governor or the attorney general who can fire the district attorney. You can't fire a mayor, can't fire a DA. She can fire the police commissioner. She can fire an officer, but she can't fire no DA. I remember they did that on One Life to Live when Dorian Lord became the mayor, and she threatened Nora with terminating her as the DA. Nora kept telling Dorian, "You can't fire me because I'm an elected official. You can't. The mayor has no control over the DA's office, so she can't do that." Um, I'm glad that the cops, went and talked to Mac. It was great seeing Mac today. Let me tell you, it's good that they need the vets to be a part of this storyline. The ones who were a part of it 25 years ago. You know what I mean? You need them to be a part of it now. I have no real issue with them putting Carly into the storyline or nothing, but I do feel like Felicia and Mac should have got more screen time with this storyline because they were the original members of the storyline, so it makes sense. That's like having a Scream movie without Sidney Prescott or Gail Weathers or Dewey. You know what I'm saying? You can't have a Scream movie without the three of them. You know what I mean? That's the original. You can't do a Scream movie without Dewey, Sidney, and Gail Weathers. I'm just saying, you can't. It ain't gonna happen. And you can't really do a Ryan Chamberlain story without the main moving parts of that story. It was sad though to hear about Sean Donnelly. because Jordan had to call and try to track Sean Donnelly down because he was the commissioner who was in charge of the Ryan Chamberlain murders 25 years ago. And the public didn't know anything about the whole missing license thing. Neither neither did none of the cops at the time. They didn't make the connection back then. So she got in touch with Sean's wife Tiffany, and basically it's implied that Sean is going through dementia. He doesn't even know what month it is, basically. So there's no way he can remember about a case 25 years ago. He doesn't even know what month it is. So I'm under the impression he's going through dementia at this moment, which is sad because I actually like the Sean Donnelly character. It's been some years since we've seen Sean Donnelly, but I was a fan of the character. Um, so anyway, moving on from that, Margot had an issue with, I guess, Curtis working with the PCPD because I guess she didn't want to work with private investigators. Here's my thing. Here's my thing about this. I don't have a problem with Curtis helping Jordan in the PCPD on this case. My only real issue with this is that why are they not using Chase and Valerie for this case? Chase is a detective. Valerie is a newly minted detective. So wouldn't it be smart to have Valerie on this case? Fresh eyes, she is new, so she could bring a different perspective. Maybe. I just think that they kind of dropped the ball on this because I do feel like Chase and Valerie should be a part of this. They should be investigating this as well. Um, it's no knock on Curtis or nothing, but when you have detectives, shouldn't the detectives be working on this? I would rather Jordan be the leader, of course, because she's the police commissioner. So why not have Jordan sitting in her office dealing with the press, the media, the politics of this, and have Curtis, Valerie, and Chase work in this case? That's how it should have went. The three of them work in the case, not just Jordan and Curtis. You know what I mean? Usually you have detectives working a murder, not the commissioner. I'm just saying. They should be reporting to her, letting her know, step by step how the case is going while they're actively investigating. It makes more sense to do it that way. I'm just saying. So I think the writers kind of dropped the ball on this one. But I am glad that they went to go talk to Mac about 25 years ago with the licenses and stuff like that. Um, they need to get Felicia involved in this clearly and get to the bottom of this shit because it's time for Ryan's uh night of terror to end. It's time for his misdeeds to come to light. Um, but Ryan has been doing it for me. I'm gonna tell you that right now. This whole murder, it's been good so far. I think it could have been better, but I've been enjoying it because of Ryan because he's hilarious. Like he's psychotic, but he's funny. He just doesn't care. Like them smirks that he be giving off, be hilarious. I wish Lulu and Carly would compare notes about this whole Wilson person because I think if they compare notes on it, they'll get the answers that they want. You know what I'm saying? That's what I said a few weeks ago. I said that Laura, Lulu, Carly should get together and really compare notes, and you will be surprised at what they would come up with. I actually loved the scene between Sunny and Lulu. It was good that Sunny went over there to see her and, the kids, even though the kids were, out. Charlotte was with Valentine and Rocco was at the Quartermains. I would love to see some scenes with Sunny and Rocco. I think we've only seen one scene between the two of them, and that was years ago. That was a couple of years ago, I think. Um, it would be good to see Sunny with his grandkid and stuff like that, bonding and stuff. Um, but I'm glad Sunny was there for Lulu. She needs that. He was wondering when Dante was coming back to town and stuff. I'm glad Lulu did not, she said she talked to Dante New Year's Eve, and I'm glad she didn't tell him about the serial killer. I understand why she didn't tell him because he's going deep undercover. The last thing he needs on his mind is to be worried about his wife and kids while there's a serial killer running around because that would change his whole mindset. And you have to have a clear mind when you're undercover because you're dealing with a lot of dangerous people. Um, I don't know how I would feel if they recasted the Dante Falconieri character. I don't know how I would feel about that. It depends on who they get. You know what I'm saying? Like, because Dominic, really, Dominic Zaprania really did a great job with Dante. He really did. He made the Dante character his own. Hell, he originated the character. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. If you recast, you would have to get somebody who's that good. You know what I mean? They would have to be damn good. Um, but it is good. Sonny's looking out for them and stuff. He let Lulu know I got guards all around your house. I got guards at watching your house and stuff. So, he offered to have guards drive her and the kids wherever they need to go. Of course, I think that's good because Lulu is putting herself in a dangerous situation right now with this investigation. She really is. Lulu is definitely treading on dangerous ground right now because Ryan is nothing to play with. And the closer and closer you get to figuring this whole mess out, the more danger you're putting yourself and possibly your children in. Being an investigative journalist is a dangerous ass job. People don't understand that. Like, it's a very dangerous job to be in. It's not about, you see scenes with her interviewing Ned and Olivia, which is good, but she does a lot of other, she handles dangerous cases. Like that whole debacle with Faison last year. We see how that turned out. Um, so of course, DA Margot stopped by to talk to Lulu because she was not happy about Lulu having classified information on an active investigation. Like, she was not happy about that. And of course, Lulu sitting there talking about, oh, let me record our conversation. Margot was like, hell no, you're not recording this conversation. This is off the record. I can't knock Lulu's hustle as an investigative journalist. She's doing exactly what a real investigative journalist would be doing, trying to get the scoop however, whenever, wherever. That's how they do. You know what I'm saying? Like, you tell them off the record, they get pissy about it because they want everything on the record. I mean, come on. They're journalists is what they do. But like I said, she needs to tread lightly. I don't see really the big deal about having Lulu looking into this because you already know telling her no is not going to, she's going to do it anyway. She's going to do the opposite of what you tell her. So, I mean, I wouldn't give her classified information, but I mean, there's nothing wrong with sharing some information either, as long as you make it clear this is not going on the record right now. At least not until we put this case down. You know what I'm saying? Because that's usually what cops do with journalists. Like, anything we're investigating right now, you're not going to write about it right now. You're going to wait until we're done with the investigation and then write about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, because they can't run the risk of having classified information hit the media. You don't want the killer to know nothing about your investigation. The problem is the killer that's amongst them, they don't really know is the killer. And they're already kind of sharing little tidbits of information with Ryan, which is dumb. But again, they don't know that. You know what I mean? But at the same time, you don't want the media knowing it either. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want that put out there. Hell no. I can't blame the DA for that. So anyway, moving on from that mess. That judge was a hard ass, Judge Carlson. She really was. That lady was another version of Judge Judy. Like, that lady was a hard ass. Like, she was not trying to listen to nothing Alexis or Elizabeth had to say. She just did not care. Because she talking about something, the kid that was selling the marijuana was also 16 years old, and she gave that boy 12 months in a juvenile center. I said, that's a little harsh, but then again, I mean, the boy is a drug dealer, so that's a little different. But the difference between the drug dealer and Cameron is Cameron doesn't have no priors. He's never committed a crime. You know what I'm saying? And he was buying the pot for a friend. And I'm glad Elizabeth stood up and, spoke up on his behalf. Even though that wasn't what Alexis had planned. But still, I mean, it couldn't hurt. It's good that the judge knew the whole story. But like I said, the judge still kind of didn't care. Because she felt like, yeah, he had good intentions, but his judgment was still stupid. It was still a judgment call, and he made a poor one, which I do agree with the judge on. He did make a poor judgment call, but at the same time, he's not a bad kid. He has no prior, so why try to throw the book at him? You know what I mean? And I'm glad Drew came there and spoke up for him, to let the judge know, Cameron stepped up for his son in a major way. Because he did. While other people was sending their prayers and their thoughts, Cameron, researched and he jumped into action. Yeah, it was a misguided, poor decision, but at least he was willing to do something. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was willing to do something. And Drew really appreciated that. You know what I'm saying? So he doesn't want to see him punished. I don't really want to see him punished either because yeah, it was a poor decision, but he's not a bad kid. You know what I mean? He was just trying to do something good. You know, so the judge basically gave him probation and stuff, I guess, for a year. Um, he can't get in trouble within that time. I'm gonna tell y'all something. You know, I kind of was on probation myself. This is back when I was a freshman in high school. It was like mischief night, the night before Halloween and stuff. Me and some friends, we were out, and you know how that goes. You know, people TP houses. We didn't do any of that stuff, but somebody did, and we were around that area where it happened, and the cops assumed we had something to do with it because they did find eggs on us and stuff like that, but we didn't use any of that stuff. And we explained that to the officers. So of course I had to go to juvenile court, and I didn't have any priors. I never got in trouble with the cops or anything. So they gave me 13 months of probation. I didn't have to go see a probation officer or anything like that, but they gave me 13 months of probation, and of course I stayed out of trouble. So once that was lifted and stuff, I was thanking God. So and that's what kept me out of trouble. You know what I'm saying? Because I definitely didn't want to see any more courtrooms. I didn't want to deal with the cops. I didn't want to, none of that. So it kept me on the straight and narrow. So you learn. You know what I'm saying? Like teenagers do a lot of dumb stuff. It's what they do. You know what I mean? And that's why I told that story, because I want to use that as an example of dumb teenage stuff. Like you just have poor judgment. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you're young. That doesn't mean you should be penalized for it for the rest of your life. Because criminal records can follow you. Thank God that was in my juvenile days, and it hasn't traveled with me through adulthood. You know what I mean? Because that would have been bad. But it would have been on my record. So thank God it wasn't. But I'm happy. I guess Drew. I think this is the part. I think I missed. Like I said, I missed a couple parts. But Drew was giving him a job at Aurora, or he offered him a job and stuff like that, which I thought was pretty cool. But overall, I actually enjoyed this episode. I really did. I enjoyed it. Hit the comment section. Let me know what y'all thought about this episode. Like I said, if I forgot something, just let me know. I'll see you all later. Have a great day. Peace.